Good morning, everybody. It is June 13th, and you're watching MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick with the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock. Let's talk about what's hot on the open here in the U.S. markets. And taking a look at the markets, we're opening to the upside, but modestly. And let's put this in perspective. You take a look at the Dow Jones up about 0.2%. That's good for 46 points. Taking a look at the S&P cash, up 0.2%. That's good for 5 points to the upside. And then the NASDAQ 100 up 0.5%. This has been the most beat up index. And clearly you see right here, folks, this is what we've always talked about, this battleground right here between the 20 and 50-day moving average. We're in a battle right now in tech. Tech is the story right now. As a matter of fact, as we've noted, we always like to watch the Russell, and the Russell's been leading the way. But tech has had this market on its back. It got knocked on its heels last Friday. Yesterday's action was positive, bounced off that 50-day moving average, that red line. But you see what's notable here is that it's banging its head against that 20-day moving average. So the short-term bulls, they're apprehensive about getting into this market. As I had noted, the Russell 2000 holding up. Biggest reason why? Finance. As long as finance is healthy, and you've seen the financial sector up today 11 cents, but you can see trading on its best levels that we've seen since the beginning of May over the last 3 sessions. This is what's holding up this small cap sector, the small regional banks. Then you have the domestic banks. These are holding up the small cap names. So you look at things like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. Yes, they're multinational. But then you look at some of the regional banks. You can take a look at KRE, which is the regional bank ETF. This is what's been holding up the Russell 2000. And now I will note this. You have the Fed meeting, and this is why I'm bringing this up. The Fed will be meeting over the next 2 days. They're going to be coming out with their policy statement. The one thing you're going to want to hear is, how are they going to unwind $4.3 trillion of bonds and mortgage-backed securities? Yes, that mess that got us into this mess in 2008. They're going to have to start unwinding that balance sheet, and everybody on the street is waiting to hear how they're going to do that. Are they going to do that gradually? Could there be an opportunity or potential that they could do it very quickly? Rip the Band-Aid off? Ow, that could potentially really hurt. Or are they going to do it incrementally while they raise rates? Especially since the inflation data is showing and the employment data is showing that they could raise rates. Looks like a 1/4 point. We'll go over that this afternoon. But that won't be known until Wednesday, so you're going to see a lot of action. So you're going to really want to focus on the finance sector for the health of the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and the Russell 2000. I had mentioned no tech, and the bounce back in tech has given some basis on why you see the Dow Jones, the S&P, and the Russell 2000 all up, much more than the much more than the NASDAQ, and here's why. Let's take a look at the stocks that have been in the news. And these are what I call the FANG knees. That's the Facebook, Amazon's, Apple, Netflix, Nvidia, Google, Microsoft, and IBM. Now taking a look at the Facebook battle in between the 20 and 50-day moving average. So you got the bulls on their heels. They got knocked on their heels. This looks very similar to the NASDAQ chart, doesn't it? That's why I said you basically have 7 names that have been riding this tech sector to the upside. Take a look at Amazon. Amazon in a battle, looking to get over its 20-day moving average, but now in that battle zone. Apple is below its 50-day moving average. Folks, Apple bulls are on their heels. As a matter of fact, they got knocked off their heels. They're sitting on their keister right now, and we're going to watch this action very closely in Apple, because there's been a lot of talk about Apple, and it's on its heels right now. Yes, it is up today 98 cents, but folks, it's not winning this battle. There are some institutional bulls as well as short-term bulls that aren't believing right now in the stock action. Let's see how it ends up today. Take a look at Netflix, another one that's on its keister. Nvidia, the darling, is still above its 20 and 50-day moving average. Okay, so the bulls are clearly in control in NVIDIA, so the darling continues to be the bell at the dance. Google rebounding, but again, struggling to get over that 20-day moving average. Use these now as resistance levels or support levels. Like NVIDIA, support at the 20-day. For the balance of the stocks that we've looked at, though, in the fangs, the 20-day moving average is now resistance. Now you have an actual price level that you can look at and say, okay, who's in control? Well, right now the bulls are still in control for the most part, but they're under pressure. Where does that pressure start to come off? Getting over that level, getting that momentum. Now we take a look at Microsoft. This is one that's been getting over its 20-day moving average today. It has challenged that and is getting over that level. That's a catalyst for the Dow Jones, for the S&P 500. These all are catalysts right now for all of these majority of these indices that also have anywhere between 20 and 40% exposure to the financials. And then finally, IBM. Now, IBM has been a laggard for the last few months. As you can see, it's just been pulling to the downside. Of the last 3 sessions, it's actually gotten over its 20-day moving average, which we haven't seen in months. As a matter of fact, we haven't seen that since basically February. And so you're now seeing that maybe there's some bulls that are trying to, on the short-term basis, get in IBM, but they're pulling the plug right now. They're challenging that 20-day moving average. Let's watch that one very closely. That could weigh on the Dow Jones as we go throughout the day. Now, you're going to see also some potential activity and fireworks coming in this afternoon. Why? Attorney General Sessions will be in what was supposed to be a closed door meeting is now going to be an open door meeting with Congress. That's going to be at 2:30 Eastern time. But tech is going to be the story. Watch these tech names. If they cannot get over that 20-day moving average, the battle will continue. Then I want to watch volatility. I want to see if VIX actually starts to come back into the markets. Right now it's down 90 cents. So they pulled all that vol out that they had built in since Friday and yesterday's action. That vol has come out this morning. Again, the short and intermediate vol bulls, they're on their heels right now. So volatility is down. That's putting pressure on those that were looking for a counter trend move because the markets were looking so weak in the NASDAQ. Let's watch this, folks. This is where you can actually get a little bit of precursor to see, especially as we get into this afternoon, if vol starts to firm up when we get over that 11 mark on the volatility index, which historically is still cheap, but we're looking at a new normal these days. All right, folks, that's it for what's hot on the open. We're going to be talking about some great strategies this afternoon at 1:30 Eastern, 12:30 Central. Kevin Kennedy, KGK, you are the best rapper I've ever heard on the floor, and I want to thank you for the kind words you had for MarketStream yesterday when I was on the CBOE floor. And, folks, keep an eye on this. We even have former market makers and brokers watching this stuff. So keep an eye on this. We're going to give you some great ideas. We'll see you at 1:30 Eastern, 12:30 Central here on MarketStream.